Hello, fellow Americans. I'm Mr. Steffler, and I'm coming to you from room 111 to talk about the homework assignment for Chapter 6, the activity notes that you'll find on pages 38 and 39 on the backside of your reading notes. We're talking about the Declaration of Independence, and I want to talk about these 8 different excerpts and how we are going to rephrase these excerpts to make them make sense. The first excerpt says, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and assume among the powers of the earth a separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that we should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. What this is Jefferson is saying that at some point in life, sometimes people need to separate and just become two separate and equal groups of people. And because this is going to cause drama, Jefferson wants to tell the world why this is happening. So your rephrase excerpt needs to talk about how separations happen, and he wants to explain to everybody why the separation is happening. Excerpt 2, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The word self-evident means obvious, and to Jefferson it is obvious that we were all created equal. Nobody was born with superpowers, and because we're all created equal, we all have the same rights, and those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those rights are inalienable and natural. Those are our natural rights. Excerpt 3. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. The word consent means permission. So basically what it's saying, if the government is a good government, it's because it had permission from the people to be the government. And that's really what that means is the consent of the governed is the power to the people, the consent of the governed. Excerpt 4, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and institute new government. So if the government, which is supposed to protect your rights, is actually taking your rights away, it is time to get a new government. So now we're to excerpt 5 on the top of page 39. The history of the present king of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having the direct object of an establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. What Jefferson's doing in this excerpt is he's kind of calling the king a bully and saying that everything the king does is meant to bully us into doing what he says, and we're not going to do what he says. So your rephrased excerpt should be like the king is bullying us, usurping our power. Usurp means to take away. Excerpt 6. To prove this, that England has interfered with the colonies, let the facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused to assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary of the public good. What Jefferson is saying is the king is refusing to let us make our own laws, even if it's a good law that we need. And because of this, he's not a good king. Excerpt 7. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in our most humble terms. Our petitions have been answered only with repeated injury. A prince whose character has thus been marked by every act which define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. In other words, your excerpt should say every time that they have abused us, every time the British have done something like the Boston Massacre, we've asked them to stop. We've asked and asked and asked, and every time, instead of stopping, the British government makes it worse. And the worse they make, the king is not a good king and cannot be the leader of a free people. The last excerpt. We therefore solemnly publish and declare that these colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states. So the colonies should be free states. They should be independent of Britain. So I hope this has helped you with your rephrasing of the excerpts, and I hope that on Monday you have this assignment completed. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and God bless America.